Hello everybody. I wanted to do a short video on xenophilia, and this is part of the topics that we'll be covering in this class. I've just posted one on visual literacy, so this that follows is on xenophilia. I chose that odd word intentionally because in the news today you might hear a lot about xenophobia, the fear of other cultures, the fear of other people, the fear of other customs, us against them. And so when in the news we hear about the Middle East or something happening in China, if we don't understand their culture and what their ideas are, we might not understand what their positions are. If you think about every single major civilization in history, the majority of them were known through their art. And by that I mean, if you think of classical Greece, you might think of the Parthenon or the Parthenon and Greek marble statuary. You might think of Roman soldiers in bronze. You might think of Egyptian art, Egyptian culture through its pyramids. So most of what we know about ancient cultures is done through their material culture. So what we're going to do in this class is turn that fear of other cultures into a curiosity about other cultures and learn about different cultures. We're going to study Native American, we're going to study Islamic, we're going to study Asian artists, and then we're going to study artists of diversity throughout the entire semester. One of the things that's really interesting about studying a culture through their art is this. My family comes from a ranch in New Mexico, and as we were building the ranch on this land, we kept coming up with these pottery shards, or these pieces of broken pottery. And they're about 1,200 years old. They're Anasazi, the ancient ones. They're the ones that were there before the Native Americans that are there now, the Pueblo Indians were. And what's really wonderful about finding a pottery shard on your property is that when you pick it up and feel it, your hands touch a surface where the last person who touched it lived literally 1,200 years ago. It had been buried under sand, and then the weather blew off the sand, get a little rain, and a pottery shard pops up. And so somebody, maybe some woman at some point 1,200 years ago, made this pot and cooked in it. So when I see pieces of art from different cultures, they can speak to me through visual literacy. Many times histories get rewritten by the person who won, or written text, depends on the narrative. But unless this piece is hacked up or put together in different ways, this is a direct experience of this culture and a direct communication from this culture that hasn't been rewritten or changed over the years. So, for instance, this is an Acoma pot, and this Acoma pot, each one of these patterns on this Acoma pot means something to the people in the tribe. However, I just love the beauty of it. They don't care if I understand it or not because I'm not a member of the tribe. So this idea that art has to be something that is for everyone and hangs in museums. The Pueblo Indians don't even have a name for art. They don't have traditionally paintings that hang on walls and big marble statues that they would drag around. Instead of having a name for art, they have many words for beauty, and they try to make things beautiful, and that is their art form. So you often have beautiful jewelry, for instance, or beautiful pottery. These are Narawa pieces, they're African, and they represent an Afrocentric kind of approach to art. Afrocentric versus Eurocentric would mean that these are actual headpieces worn by people. and the entire community would come together, and there'd be call and response, and everybody'd be joining in, and there'd be singing, and there'd be dancing, and there'd be some rituals going on where the whole community came together, and kind of a certain spirit was brought about. And that would represent this type of art. This type of art in a museum just looks like a specimen in formaldehyde without the chanting and the dancing and the singing around it. So as we look at different cultures, we're going to consider just we're just going to look through their eyes for a little bit. I did assign a writing assignment with this, which is to think about how your future career or profession might benefit from some skills in xenophilia, might benefit from you being able to appreciate different cultures. And I think that no matter where you are these days, you're going to be digitally connected with people from all over the world. I think it would be rare for you not to interpret people from other cultures. And so I'm hoping that by studying these different cultures and looking through their eyes, that a social worker, for instance, might understand the culture of her clients a little bit better. A psychologist might understand that somebody's taking a different view. There's all kinds of applications to life's problems when you look through the eyes of different perspectives. So I'd like for you to think about that and think about xenophilia as one of our course topics and how it might apply. I hope this helps. Bye-bye.